Good morning, Canadian yarn heart. My name's Alyssa, and today we're going to be making a crocheted Swiffer, not so Swiffer cover. So if you remember, I have made the one that goes over top. So you put it on, and you just kind of maneuver it into place properly. And there's the one that's knitted. This one's the stocking stitch. Then I did make the one where you just kind of push it into the spots they have. And that's number 2. So there's number 2. And then number 3 is going to be a crocheted version. So it's going to be a little differently. How about I move you over to the overhead cam and we'll get started. So now that I've gotten to sit down, and this is what I have left from the last one. So I'm going to try and make this one full crochet. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I am going to use this Loops and Threads Classic Cotton. They are both the same, so they're both a 4.5 millimeter needle. Oops. And a 5 millimeter hook. So that's those two. I did notice, however, when I was looking, if you see, this one says 75 grams, and this one says 70.9 grams. But if you look at the yardage, you actually get 106 yards in this one and 120 in this one. So technically you get more in this one. This one just weighs more. So you actually do get more in the Classic Loops and Threads Classic Cotton. However, I did pick this yarn. If you have not been a watcher, a regular viewer, then you won't know, but if you have watched the other ones, thank you. If you are new, welcome. And I will say that I'm going to chain 52. And I picked this yarn because I did not like any of the other scrubby yarns. I have touched them. They are plastic. They are acrylic, but not nice acrylic. They are truly plastic. And they don't feel nice. This one, it is not my favorite yarn. If you watched the first one, you will know I went on a bit of a rant, but I did not like this one very much. It is still soft-ish. It would be a very good yarn to use for a facial scrubby, which probably will be my next video, if I have some of this left. So that's why I'm hoping not to use it all. I gotta count here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, so 37, 38, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50 plus 2, 1, 2. Now you're going to, because this is just a cleaning cloth, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to go in this one, and you're going to single crochet for 2 inches this yarn. And I'm hoping that this yarn, having the scrubbies that it does, will actually stand out a little bit. So that way, when you get to use it as your floor cleaner, because it's on a not so Swiffer, dollar store cheap one, but I'm sure they're the same sizes. I would use my wet jet, but I haven't quite figured out how to do it. I'm getting closer, so hopefully I'll be able to come in with one for a Swiffer wet jet. As I said in the other video, if you're going to use one of these and you want it to wet the floor, use a spray bottle. Just grab a spray bottle from the dollar store, fill it up with vinegar and cleaner. And the vinegar will actually help promote the cleaner, so it'll get the cleaner to work better. As a little tip, a lot of times, sorry, I'm just plugging in my phone. You'll want to use a, even a splash of vinegar. I use it a lot of times. I use it in the toilet bowl, the one behind when you flush. So you have vinegar in there. You can put toothpaste in there too. That does work. It helps keep that clean. You can put vinegar. I always use it in my wash. I use it to clean my hummingbird feeders, just a little bit in the hummingbird feeder. Rinse it out really good so you don't smell the vinegar, and that actually kills mold in the feeder, so it actually lasts a little bit longer, and you have no problems with the feed. That was something I've discovered this year. I don't actually like eating vinegar a lot. My husband does. He's a huge vinegar fan. Me, I prefer to use it as a cleaner. It really does. It's worth its weight in gold in cleaning. You get a lot of cleaning done for half the use. It cleans really easy. Actually, for summer, I keep a spoon on the counter and a coffee cup so that we can just grab the spoon, grab your sugar and all that. And this summer it ended up getting really badly moldy every time I turned around. So I started putting it in the cup. I started adding half vinegar, half water. And that's completely killed the mold. It doesn't mold up. I clean it, every few days, and keeps the cup clean, keeps the spoons nice and clean so they don't get as stained anywhere near as bad. And that way you, oh yeah, that's going to give you a nice cleaning surface as the single crochet. Sorry, it'll help, vinegar will help clean anything up. But yeah, that's actually really nice crocheted up together. And the nice part about this is I'm going to be able to show you the difference between, actually I can do that right now if you'd like. So that's garter stitch, kind of, that's how that looks. That is stocking stitch with this yarn. And then now you have the crochet. So it definitely has different looks as you go along. Variegated is very good for that. Like I said, you're going to do 2 inches of just single crochet. And then we're going to change color just because you could finish this off easily using the full. I have something else I want to use some of this for, so I'm going to try and not use it all up. As I said, it's going to be a facial scrub because I really think this yarn will work really well for that. And I'm just going to keep going. And I will show you what it looks like when we come back after getting the 2 inches, because you're going to do 3 inches of the other color. And actually having the different colors, the different yarns of cotton won't be a bad thing. They'll have one maybe more absorbent than this one. I don't know much about this Lilies and Cream, Sugar and Cream. I know more about the classic cotton from Loops and Threads. I use the soap sack every couple of days. It's wonderful. I did find it's probably better when you get to the ends. Don't put a full bar in it. Just kind of not so good when you put a full bar in it. But other than that, no worries. And if you have it, yes. I don't know if I've released the soap sack video, but by the time this one releases, it probably will be released. So I'm just going to keep going. And when I come back, I will have 2 inches. So I ended up doing 2.5 inches. I'll show you right here. So I have 2.5, which I'm all right with that. So I'm only going to do 5 inches, but now I am going to change colors. And that was actually the one ball. So that one ball got me all that. So I'll use that for hopefully my other project. And yet again, the best tip I've ever found for finding a center pole is roll it around, put your fingers in, and you come out with a much faster center pole than you do if you try and root around in there, I gotta say. So now we're going to change the color to this nice purple. And I am only doing this because I don't have a lot, but I also do think, I'm going to continue with the same stitch. So I'm just going to pull that tail up there. Just keep stitching along here, tailing in this little tail, tucking in that tail, I should say. So we're just going to keep changing color, and now you're going to do basically 2.5 inches of this one, just so you get, actually I guess 2 would work. With that extra, put it over about 4.5. So yeah, 2 more inches of this one. If you did only do 2 inches of this, you could do 2.5 of this one, and that should make it long enough that you can get it onto the Not So Swiffer base. Now, I do believe the Not So Swiffer base and a Swiffer base are both the same size. I just went to the dollar store to cheap out. No big deal. I do that so that way someone who's on a budget, who doesn't have a lot of money, who's learning, you're putting money into yarn and you're putting money into materials and crochet hooks and darning needles, and you're doing all of that. Sometimes you just need the cheaper option. Sometimes that cheaper option is the dollar store, although they're not so cheap anymore. But I'm just going to keep going for another 2 inches of this, and I will show you how I'm going to sew it up. But I was saying about how I wanted to do this because I wanted the scrubby at the top, and then I wanted just cotton at the back, because that way the cotton might absorb the water a little better than the scrubby. I do not know how this yarn works with water. I have not tried it yet. This is more trial and error. But I will come back when I have 2 inches, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, so I have this. This is how it's going to go on the Swiffer, Not So Swiffer. Now I'm going to just trim that. So what you want to do now is kind of center it a little bit, and then just find a spot where you want to sew up. Right there, right about there. So I'm going to just grab this. Has a good tail to it, and we're just going to sew it up. And we're just going to continue sewing this edge. Doesn't really need to be on there yet, so you just kind of get the general idea of where you want to sew it, or darn it if you prefer. And you just keep darning up and in. And you double back because you really don't want this to come undone in the middle of cleaning. That would suck. So we're just going to do that. Trim that off. Go to this side, which I'm going to grab this yarn, because it's a little scrap piece I had from this yarn. I'm just going to put you there. You don't really need your hook anymore. You're almost finished. So I'm just going to, oops, just do that again and tighten right there, so that I can just darn through. And you just kind of sew this side up too. And then you will put it back on so you can measure it. Just make sure you have the right measurements to tighten it up. Just going to double back on the thread. And as I said in earlier videos, I have been doing knitting for 40 years. And I have been crocheting for about 20. So I do have an idea of what I'm doing, at least a little bit. But by far I don't know it all. I'm still teaching myself how to do it. That's the one wonderful thing, is there's always something new to learn. This channel has actually helped me make so many more new things that I never thought I would. I am going to trim that there. Toss that. That out. So that's the one side. Tighten. Now we're going to go to this side. And what you want to do is you want to tighten it up, put it in, get it in nicely, flip, and then you're going to grab right about there, and then you'll tie this end up, and you'll do the exact same to the other side, and I will show you the finished project when I come back. So there you have it. I finished off the crocheted version now. And as I said, you want to make sure that you have the, pull that on, and then you want to have the scrubby one up, so you go like that. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to hear from you in a question, comment, or concern. I hope to have a like or subscribe if I've earned it, and I hope to see you again. Bye.